I'm a 34-year-old man, and for the better part of the last decade, I worked for a mid-sized company in the city. My role wasn't glamorous, but it was one I poured my heart and soul into. I was the guy who stayed late, picked up the slack, and made sure deadlines were met, even if it meant sacrificing weekends. My boss, let's call him Boss, was someone I initially respected. He wasn't warm or particularly encouraging, but I believe hard work would eventually speak for itself. For years, I heard whispers around the office about his favoritism. Promotions seemed to land in the laps of his golf buddies or those who laughed a little too hard at his jokes during meetings. I ignored it. Stay focused on your work, I told myself. Your time will come, but it didn't. Last year, after successfully managing a project that brought in one of our biggest contracts yet, I approached Boss about the possibility of a promotion. My performance had been stellar, and the numbers backed me up. I thought the timing was perfect. He looked me square in the eyes and said, "You're doing fine where you are. Promotions are about more than just results. They're about fit." Fit? I repeated, stunned. "Yeah," he said casually, spinning his pen between his fingers. "You're reliable, but I don't see you as leadership material." The words hit me like a slap in the face. Not leadership material? After everything I'd done for this company? I swallowed my pride and pressed him. What exactly would make me more of a fit? He smirked, leaned back in his chair, and said, "I don't know. Maybe loosen up a little, network more with the team. It's about being part of the culture." That was code for something else entirely. I wasn't one of his favorites, and I never would be. I tried to shake off the bitterness, but it ate away at me. The final straw came 2 months later when Boss gave a promotion, my promotion, to a coworker who'd been with the company for half the time I had. This guy had a knack for flattering Boss and tagging along to every after-hours drink session. He was good at schmoozing, but I knew the truth. His contributions to actual work were minimal. I decided then and there I was done wasting my time and talent on a company that didn't value me. Quietly, I started working on my escape plan. I had always wanted to run my own business. I specialized in marketing and branding, and I knew there was a gap in the market for small businesses looking for affordable, high-quality services. I spent months building a plan, networking discreetly, and setting up a website. I kept things under wraps, but I made sure to connect with every client I'd worked with during my tenure, laying the groundwork for future opportunities. The turning point came when one of our largest clients, a national retail chain, confided in me during a meeting. "I love working with you," their director said. "You've always been so responsive and creative. Honestly, if you ever went independent, we'd follow you in a heartbeat." It was the validation I needed. When I gave my 2 weeks' notice, Boss didn't bother hiding his annoyance. "Good luck out there," he said dismissively. "Running a business isn't as easy as it looks." But what he didn't know was that I had been preparing for this for months. I left quietly, without burning bridges, but not without leaving an impression. On my last day, several coworkers pulled me aside to say they admired my courage. "You're going to kill it," one of them said. I hit the ground running. Within weeks, I secured my first few clients, small businesses looking to revamp their online presence. But the real game changer came 3 months later, when the retail chain I'd worked with under Boss officially signed on with me. Their contract alone was worth more than half my old annual salary. Word spread fast in the industry. Other clients started reaching out, saying they'd heard about the work I was doing. I didn't solicit anyone directly. I didn't have to. My reputation spoke for itself. That's when the calls from Boss started. At first, they were polite. He wanted to check in and see how things were going. I knew better. He was fishing for information. I kept the conversations short and vague, but it wasn't long before his tone changed. "You're poaching our clients," he accused me one afternoon. "Poaching?" I shot back. "They reached out to me. Maybe you should ask yourself why they're leaving." Boss wasn't the type to let things go. A week later, I got a cease and desist letter from the company's lawyer, accusing me of violating non-compete agreements and taking proprietary information. It was laughable. I hadn't taken a single file or document when I left, and the non-compete clause wasn't enforceable in my state. I hired a lawyer, and we shut it down quickly. But Boss didn't stop there. I started hearing rumors from mutual industry contacts that he was bad-mouthing me, claiming I'd stolen clients and undercut the company. He even went so far as to send representatives to my clients, offering them steep discounts to return. It backfired spectacularly. The retail chain's director called me one morning, furious. "Your old boss sent someone here yesterday, basically begging us to come back." It was pathetic. I apologized for the drama, but she laughed it off. "Don't worry, we're sticking with you." Frankly, it just makes us more confident we made the right choice. Realizing his smear campaign was failing, Boss tried one last desperate move. He filed a lawsuit claiming damages for unfair competition. My lawyer assured me it was baseless, and we countered immediately. The case dragged on for months, costing him far more than it cost me. In the end, the judge dismissed it entirely, and I filed a defamation suit in return. By the time the dust settled, Boss's reputation was in shambles. His smear tactics and frivolous lawsuits had alienated clients and staff alike. Several of his key employees jumped ship, some even reaching out to me for opportunities. I didn't hire all of them. I was careful not to overextend, but I did take on two of his best, both of whom had been overlooked and underappreciated just like I had. Together, we doubled the size of my business within a year. As for Boss, the company started bleeding clients and revenue. The last I heard, he was forced to step down after a shareholder revolt. I won't pretend I felt bad for him. He built his career on entitlement and manipulation, and in the end, it caught up with him. Looking back, I'm glad Boss refused to promote me. It pushed me to build something better, something I could be proud of. Running a business isn't easy, but it's infinitely more rewarding when you're calling the shots. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just success. It's taking back control of your life and watching those who underestimated you crumble under the weight of their own arrogance. If you like this story, hit subscribe. Who knows? Maybe next time, I'll share the tale of how one of Boss's old buddies tried pulling a similar stunt and failed even harder.